Then the liver is the one that is responsible for the production of urea. So liver is part of excretory organ too, but the leaf is the one that you have the exchange of nutrients and metabolic products there. That is option A, leaf. Then the next question is diagrammatic, showing the structure of the skin. The structure of the skin, we have a labeled 1, 2, 3, 4. The part labeled 3 is for what? Then the structure labeled 2 is known as, looking at this diagram very well, 1 is the sebaceous gland. Sebaceous gland. Then the 2 is the nerve fiber. 3 is the root hair. Then the third one, the fourth one, the last one is the sweat gland. So the function of the part that is labeled 3 here, that is the root hair, is to it contracts to pull the hair erect. You know, when there is maybe the temperature is, you are very cold, or there is a reaction in the body whereby your body is trying to react to a shock or something. Maybe you find something very irritating to you. You find out that you have something called goose pimples. The hair will be, the hairs of on your skin will be red and everything. So that is what the root hair does. That's what the root hair does. It contracts to pull the hair erect. It's the sebaceous gland that produces oil for the skin. So that rules out option 1. Then the sensory nerve fiber is the one that carry blood and nitrogenous waste. So that cannot be B. That's it. So because the part that is labeled 3 is root hair. So it's not, root hair don't carry blood and nitrogenous substance. Neither do they conduct nervous impulses. So the part labeled 3 is the root hair, and it contracts to pull the hair erect. That is option C. Then the next question on that says that the sweat gland is the structure labeled what? I have told you that 1 is sebaceous gland, 2 is the nerve fiber, 3 is the root hair, then 4 the sweat gland. So the sweat gland is the structure that is labeled 4. That is the sweat gland that leads to the sweat pore, producing sweat. Then the sweat pore is the one that releases it. The sweat gland produces the sweat, that's the waste product that is being excreted by the sweat pore, the pore, that is the holes on your skin. The next question: the urinary tubules of the kidney function through A, osmosis and diffusion, B, active transport and osmosis, C, ultrafiltration and selective reabsorption, D, active transport and cytoplasmic streaming. The urinary tubules of the kidney functions through ultrafiltration and selective reabsorption, and that is filtration under high pressure. When we have some small molecules of glucose, iron, protein and all that, they are being separated in the Bowman's capsule of the kidney. Then after a while, after they are being eliminated, then those useful substances in the urine, like the glucose, the small iron, the protein, all those ones, they are reabsorbed back into the system. So that is why we have it to be ultrafiltration and selective reabsorption. The urinary tubules of the kidney functions through ultrafiltration and selective reabsorption, option C. The next question: excess water in plants is excreted as water vapor and droplets respectively. True. Excess water in plants will go away will be excreted by transpiration. You know, that is when you have the opening and the closing of the stomata. When there is excess water, the solute concentration is increased, then the stomach will be open so that transpiration can occur. The excess water can be taken away. Now, droplets will be taken away by guttation. So that is leading us to guttation. It's not respiration. Respiration in plants and animals. Respiration occurs when you have exchange of gases in plants and animals. So that rules out option A. Respiration and guttation, no. Excess water will not be removed by respiration. Then photosynthesis, no, excess water will not remove photosynthesis, because photosynthesis is the manufacture of food by the plants or by green plants that have chlorophyll in the presence of sunlight. So excess water will not be taken away by that, and it is not condensation. So that rules out option C and D, leaving us only with option D. Transpiration, excess water is excreted through transpiration. Then the droplets is excreted through guttation, when you have it coming out on the leaves or on the part of the plant. You see droplets of water. So option B. The next question says the outer layer of the kidney, where the Bowman's capsule are found, is the kidney is divided into two parts, the outer layer and the inner layer. The outer layer is the cortex, while the inner layer is the medulla. Then the pelvis is connected to the medulla like a pipe. That is the pelvis. Then pyramid is found inside the medulla, like 8 of them, looks like a triangle inside the medulla. So the outer layer of the kidney, where the Bowman's capsule are found, is the cortex. I said the kidney is divided into two parts, the cortex and the medulla. The medulla is internal, while cortex is external. So that's the outer layer, the connecting tube that goes from the kidney. So that is not the outer layer. Then the pyramid is inside the medulla, triangular pyramid in shape, like a triangle. So the outer layer of the kidney, where Bowman's capsule are found, is the cortex, option A. The next question says, in the kidney of animals, the site of ultrafiltration is the filtration under high pressure that I was explaining the other time takes place. Filtration under high pressure takes place in the Bowman's capsule. The Bowman's capsule contains a network of tiny capillaries, like wool, like this. So it is inside the Bowman's capsule that we have selective or separation of substance under high pressure. So that is option B. Bowman's capsule is where is the site of ultrafiltration in the kidney of animals. The next question. The part of the mammalian skin involved in excretion is what? A. Sebaceous gland, B. honey gland, C. sweat gland, D. Mammalian layer. Mammalian layer is the layer is the middle layer of the skin, and that one is just is responsible for the replacement of the outer layer. Once that the outer layer is worn out, then it's the mammalian layer that will make sure that there is a replacement. So that is not where excretion occurs. Then the sebaceous gland is the gland that produces oil that moistens the skin. It's responsible for keeping the skin warm and making sure that the hair are in good condition. So it's the one that keeps the skin oily. So it's not for excretion. But the sweat gland produces sweat, a mixture of water and some salts, some other chemicals, some salts from the body is excreted through the sweat pores, the pores on your skin, the holes there. Then is the sweat gland that produces the sweat that goes out through the sweat pores. So that is option C. The part of the mammalian skin involved in excretion is the sweat gland. The next question. Which of the following is a waste product of an insect? A. Sweat, B. mucilage, C. alkaloids, D. uric acid. Sweat is a waste product in animals. Then mucilage and alkaloids, they are excretory products in plants. Then uric acid is the waste product of an insect. That is giving us option D. The part of the mammalian skin that is involved in temperature regulation is what? A. Sweat gland, B. Hair papilla, C. Hair follicle, D. Sebaceous gland. The sweat gland is responsible for temperature regulation. Why? Once the body is hot, the sweat, sweat is water. It's a mixture of water and some other salt that is coming out. So it's the one that brings down the temperature of the body, that regulates it. When there is too much heat, that is when you sweat a lot. So the sweat gland is the one that produces sweat. So the water will cool down the skin, regulating or balancing the temperature of the body. So that is giving us the option. Hey, the sweat gland is a part of the mammalian skin that brings about temperature regulation. The next question says, the waste product of plants used in conversion of hide to leather is called what? A. Gum, B. Alkaloid, C. Tannin, and D. Resin. Hide to leather, that is the skin of animals. We have leather bags, leather shoes, and all that you carry about, and you are told that it is from the skin of animals that those things are gotten. Then how come, when you see a typical skin of an animal and your leather, the leather bag and leather shoe you are carrying about, they are not, it's quite different. As in, the look is not like the skin raw like that. No, something has been done, and that is called tanning. Tanning is a process where you convert hide to leather. Now, what is responsible? The waste product of plant that is used for that is called tannin. Tannin, it is present in mangrove plant, so it's used for tanning hide to leather. Gum is an adhesive. It's a waste product gotten from the bark of plant, oozing out.